The hidden power of silence. How talking less can transform your life and inner peace. In today's world, constant chatter and communication are considered a sign of intelligence and confidence. But what if the key to true personal growth and inner peace lies not in speaking more, but in speaking less? In this video, we delve into the profound wisdom found in the ancient teachings of the Buddha, exploring how silence can elevate your mental strength, deepen your self-awareness, and ultimately transform your life. Introduction: the power of silence. In many cultures, especially within Buddhism, silence is regarded as a powerful tool for spiritual growth. The story of a disciple who sought to outshine his peers through incessant speech and self-promotion is an example that sheds light on the importance of silence, not just in action, but in thought and communication. The disciple's journey, as guided by his guru, teaches us that silence is not just the absence of words, but the absence of inner noise that keeps us distracted from our true selves. The disciple's challenge in a peaceful Buddhist ashram, a well-known teacher and his disciples lived in harmony, focusing on self-improvement and spiritual practice. One disciple in particular stood out for his constant talking. He would often boast about his background, claiming that his sacrifices were far greater than those of the other disciples. Coming from a wealthy family, he had voluntarily given up comforts to search for the truth, or so he claimed. This disciple's excessive chatter and self-promotion soon caught the attention of his guru, who noticed the imbalance in his approach to spirituality. To teach him the value of humility and inner strength, the guru gave him a simple yet profound task: to remain silent for 1 month. At first, the disciple found the challenge laughable. How could staying silent for a month be a test of my strength, he thought. But as he started, he realized just how difficult it was to control not just his speech, but also the flood of thoughts and urges to speak. His mind was full of opinions, judgments, and internal commentary, and the silence only intensified the restlessness within. The struggle of silence. As the days went by, the disciple began to experience physical discomfort. He felt a heaviness in his body and a growing frustration inside. His mind, accustomed to expressing every thought, struggled to remain still. The silence he had once underestimated became a battle for mental clarity. By the third day, the disciple felt like he was suffocating without speaking. The absence of external communication seemed to amplify the internal noise. Questions, complaints, and judgments took over his mind. On the fourth day, he grew desperate. He went to his guru and begged for permission to break his resolution, explaining how unbearable the silence had become. The guru, with a calm smile, explained that resolutions are meant to be broken only when one has truly understood the lesson behind them. The one who fulfills his resolution, the guru said, increases his inner strength. And the one who gains inner strength walks the path of awakening. The guru's wisdom. Inner peace comes through awareness. The guru's response struck a chord with the disciple. Instead of breaking his resolution, he chose to stay silent and focus on his inner turmoil. With each passing day, his thoughts became more intense, but he also began to understand the nature of his mind. His constant need to speak had been a way to avoid confronting the deeper, unaddressed parts of himself. As the days turned into weeks, the disciple realized that his inability to remain silent externally was merely a reflection of his inability to quiet the noise within. The mind, when not trained, constantly seeks external distractions. But true peace, as the guru had suggested, comes from within. Only by mastering silence can one silence the endless chatter of the mind. The disciple's transformation. After many weeks of struggle, the disciple finally retreated into the forest to be alone with his thoughts. In solitude, he faced the true challenge: silence not just on the outside, but within. For days, the noise inside his head grew louder as he confronted his ego, his judgments, and his incessant need to speak. Yet, as time passed, the voices inside began to fade. His mind slowly became still, and with it, a deep sense of peace enveloped him. For the first time, he understood the true meaning of silence. When he returned to the ashram, he was not the same person. His face radiated calmness, and his presence exuded a quiet strength. His peers, who had once known him as the most talkative disciple, were astonished by the transformation. He was no longer impatient, nor did he seek validation through words. Every word he spoke now carried weight, and his conversations were filled with depth and wisdom. Scientific insights. The impact of silence on the brain. There is a growing body of scientific research that supports the transformative power of silence. Studies have shown that prolonged periods of silence can have profound effects on the brain and mental health. For instance, a study conducted by the University of Virginia found that silence promotes the growth of new brain cells in the hippocampus, a region associated with memory and learning. This highlights the importance of creating space for stillness in our daily lives. Moreover, research from the University of California suggests that silence can help lower blood pressure, reduce stress, and improve overall mental clarity. In a world where we are constantly bombarded with noise, whether from our phones, social media, or even our own thoughts, silence provides a much-needed refuge. It allows the brain to rest and recharge, which in turn enhances creativity, problem-solving, and emotional regulation. The art of speaking less. Practical steps for finding inner peace. 1. Practice mindful communication. Before speaking, pause and ask yourself, is what I'm about to say necessary? Is it kind? Is it true? Mindful communication helps you filter unnecessary words and ensure that your speech is intentional and impactful. 2. Create time for solitude. Schedule time each day to be alone in silence. This could be as simple as sitting quietly for 10 to 15 minutes, meditating, or taking a walk in nature without distractions. This practice helps you cultivate awareness and inner peace. 3. Observe your thoughts. Silence is not just about the absence of speech. It's also about observing your thoughts. When you feel the urge to speak, observe the thoughts that arise. Are they driven by ego or a desire to be heard? Recognizing these patterns can help you detach from them. Limit social media consumption. Social media platforms are often filled with noise, opinions, and constant updates. Reducing your time on these platforms allows you to reclaim your mental space and focus on more meaningful activities. 5. Practice active listening. Instead of waiting for your turn to speak, focus on truly listening to others. This fosters deeper connections and shows respect for the person you are conversing with. Conclusion. The true essence of silence. The story of the talkative disciple illustrates the immense power of silence, not just as an external practice, but as a tool for inner transformation. In a world that constantly encourages noise and busyness, it is easy to lose touch with our inner selves. However, as the disciple discovered, true peace is found when we turn inward and silence both our speech and our thoughts. By embracing silence and mindful communication, we not only enhance our mental health, but also foster deeper, more meaningful connections with others. Silence is not the absence of sound, but the presence of awareness, an awareness that leads to true freedom and self-discovery.